Hey everybody, good morning, good Friday. I'm sending out some stuff to the post office. I wanted to bring you along with me. Pretty day. Well, I don't know how pretty it is. I mean, I guess it's not freezing, so. But I just wanted to have a little conversation. There's a lot of Elvis channels out there, right? And there's a lot of jealousy in the Elvis world. Now, I've experienced some of it, and you try to let it roll off your back, right? And I think I do a pretty decent job of it. I understand everybody's where they're at this point in their life. There's a lot of people, that want to try to put other people down to climb on top of them and become a bigger YouTuber. I didn't start this channel to become a YouTuber. So just a little back history of how this channel started. This wasn't even originally an Elvis channel. I had an insurance license, and I thought, life insurance, when I got it, I felt good about protecting my family. If something happens to me, my wife won't have to worry about the mortgage. She'll have a little bit of money to take some time off from work for the kids to grieve. So originally I started this as a kind of an advertising channel for that. And then one day I stuck a couple. There's some people locally that said, "Hey Joe, we know you sing Elvis. We've seen you at shows. Why don't you put something on YouTube? Sing this song for me." So I recorded a couple songs and stuck them up on YouTube and sent the songs to the people that requested it, so they'd have it. And then I don't know, maybe I went on vacation or something like that, and then all of a sudden, when I looked, the very next time I looked at the YouTube channel, because it wasn't anything I kept that much track of, I saw there was like 30,000 and 50,000 views. And so I thought, okay, well, wow, that's nice. And then I still didn't do anything with the channel. And then the Elvis Baz Luhrmann movie came out. And I took my family to see it. They enjoyed it, but I sat there feeling like they painted a very incomplete picture of Elvis, and it was all negative and depressing. At the time everybody was saying, well, it gets Elvis back in the spotlight for the younger generation. And I guess it did that. And I think that they didn't market it exactly the way it was intended to be. It was really a Elvis from the Colonel Parker's perspective, not an Elvis movie. It was, but it was Colonel Parker movie, and that was the perspective that they put in there. And so anyway, so I started making some videos, and it really just kind of went on from there. I didn't really have an intention to become a YouTuber, and I really don't consider myself a YouTuber. I guess really by definition I am. I've had a decent career. I mean, not a great career. I know my place in music history, and I know I've got talent, which is great. God blessed me with that. My family blessed me with that. My music teacher is very, very instrumental in being inspirational for me, because I grew up, didn't have the greatest childhood, as y'all know, but I had a music teacher that kind of stepped in my life right around the same time my brother Philip passed away, and became like a second father to me. And so I practiced trumpet all the time. I practiced euphonium. If he needed me to play French horn or play tuba for parts, or even oboe, I would do that. There was a piano in the music room, and I would frequently during lunch, I'd go in there and tinkle on the keys and ask him to show me a couple things. And my stepmother played piano very well. And so I picked up a few things from her. But, music-wise, I moved to Nashville thinking hoping I would be a country music singer. But then when I got here, I thought, maybe I just want to be a songwriter. But at the same time, what kind of kept me here was winning all the talent contests that I won. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to be an artist. And so regardless, I think I was sharing this with somebody the other day, that I really wasn't dedicated enough. I didn't want to forsake everybody else in order to be an artist. I went back to California between 4 and 6 times a year to see my son, who was little. I didn't really know I had a child back there until I got here. And so I wanted to be part of his life, so I didn't dedicate myself to trying to be an artist and go network all the time. And so, what it takes to become a very famous singer, not only talent, but it takes you trying to put yourself above others and look at me sort of a thing. And you got to go out and network, and you got to drink, and you got to party, and you got to do all the wrong things mostly. Or this day and age, you just have to have a lot of money to become big. It's just the truth of the matter. If you don't bring an investor in, you do not become big. It's one of those well-known secrets, but kind of not secrets. That Carrie Underwood, she had a record deal before American Idol. It was all set up. In fact, I've got recordings still of Carrie Underwood when she was 13 that my friend Chuck Howard at Curb Records had recorded on her. It's phenomenal talent. But the thing is that music is like Hollywood in a lot of ways. And Hollywood is considered to be a pretty wicked, evil place. It's kind of been the same thing, even for country music. It's funny, I've had friends in the Christian music industry, and that is even more corrupt than country music. And country music, once again, is probably the least corrupted of all of them, but it's still, wherever there's money and the ability to be famous, there is certainly, how would you say, well, let's just say the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil, the love of money. So whenever there's money involved, there is not good people. And that's just the truth of it. And so I just kind of chose not to put myself in situations where they were doing substances while they were songwriting, and I'm not going to take part in that. I always wanted to be true to who I am. But this YouTube channel is a great outlet for me to show my love of Elvis, my appreciation of Elvis, because without the love I have for Elvis and his music and his story and his soul, I wouldn't be a singer. I wouldn't have met my wife, and I wouldn't have had my other children either, because they all came from music in a sense. So everything that I have, I owe to my love of music. And of course, God, but I was led there through my love of music, and it all started with Elvis. And so, if I was going to offer any unsolicited advice to anybody, is don't look at all the things that you didn't have in life. Don't look at all the things that you want to have in life to measure your happiness, because your happiness needs to come from a place of gratitude. What do you have? What have you done? And hold on to those as core self-esteem things to grab on, whatever it is, because this life will rock you back and forth. This life will take from you. Y'all know my story, lost my son, 44 days old. Of course, I lost my mom at 6, and lost my brother at 13, and lost a lot of brothers, lost a lot of cousins, lost my parents, all that stuff. Life takes from you. But it doesn't have to define your perspective on life, and I think the perspective comes completely from having gratitude for what you have, and I believe Elvis had that as well, that he had a gratitude for what he had, and he tried to keep a humility. Yes, he knew he was the most famous person in the world, without a doubt he knew that, and I know. There's all this, they won't remember me when I'm gone sort of talk. But I think Elvis, in a lot of ways, knew that he would be remembered. But he wanted to be humble. He wanted to show humility. And he was always striving to do more. And he knew that after the 50s and 60s that he let I don't want to say work ethic, but he allowed himself to do stuff that wasn't as memorable when it comes to the imprint of music history and where music was going and music was changing. Elvis was an innovator, and it showed, you know, in the 68 comeback special. It showed in the Memphis recordings that he still had a big desire to sing, you know, songs that meant something, not the movie soundtracks. But everybody's allowed to go off track, and Elvis went off track for a while. He did. He went off track because it allowed him to spend time with his friends and family. It allowed him to have a lot of, you know, in a sense, a lot of playtime, a lot of vacation time, playtime. Yeah, he did 3 movies a year, but those movies did not take very long to film. And he was a genius. He was a musical genius, and he was amazing. The fact that he memorized not only his parts in the movies, but, you know, other people's parts in the movies. So if they needed assistance or help, he could let them know what their line was. So, you know, on this day, which is January, you know, just shortly after the anniversary of his birth, you know, let's just remember and be grateful for Elvis, for what he gave us, not for what we lost when he passed away, and where we're at in life. So TCB, TLC, till next time, this is Rare Photos. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and a wonderful week. Till next time.